Welcome to my site, everybody. My name is Paul Smyers. I am a country realtor. I practice in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, as I'm going to point out in a minute here. And today I want to tell you a lot about a beautiful niche that I found. I live in this area that is representative of many beautiful areas in the country. But I want to tell you about the special advantages of what to look for in a geographic location where you want to settle in for homesteading. I love the rural life. I find it a lot less stressful and less expensive as well, and actually far more beautiful. So, what I'm talking about is the little town of Stuarts Draft, Virginia. Maybe you've never heard of it, I'm sure you haven't, but it's a tiny little place that's on this map down here at the very bottom, right around here. Now, my full map doesn't include the lower Shenandoah Valley that goes all the way down south along Route 81. This is Route 81. And then there's also a road that goes up the valley right up here. And then there's a Charlottesville is over here, and there's an airport there that you can connect to a lot of other places. And then we have a number of smaller towns. We have Waynesboro, we have Stanton, and we have Harrisonburg, and a couple over here. Luray, and then down here there's also Lexington. Now, the reason I'm pointing those towns out is because if you strategically locate your homestead in an area where there's multiple opportunities for jobs, or the different conveniences that you need, resources, materials, stores, or whatever, if you have yourself positioned in a position where you can go to any one of these cities, there's Lynchburg down here, you have such an option for your employment and many other features like schools, hospitals, and so on. So that's one of the reasons I like this beautiful area, because you see how I can get to Waynesboro, I can get to Stanton, I can get to Charlottesville, I can go down here to Lexington, I can cruise up this beautiful valley here. There's all kinds of recreation around here. We're talking about the Williams Jefferson National Forest and Washington National Forest are here. The Blue Ridge Parkway, the Appalachian Trail is over here. The variety of terrain that's all around here. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway, and these are the Blue Ridge Hills. So you can see that Stuarts Draft is a little tiny community right down here. And what's another feature about Stuarts Draft? It was a long history of agriculture. There was a guy whose last name was Stuarts. I guess he was Scottish or something, and he established a lot of farms in the area. And you can see how this is beautifully situated because we got sun, we got water, we got great soil, and we got river coming down the valley here. So it's really ideal for agriculture. And what that means is, over the years, historically, the zoning laws, the big zoning laws, I talk about that in some of my other videos, but the zoning laws are so important when you buy a property. And if you have a homestead type of property, it's zoned liberally and there's a grandfathered in. I mean, it's hard to dispute the use of a land that's already grandfathered in. You see, so let's say you have a property that the zoning is 2 acres per household, but you find a house that has the 3 acres, 3.5 acres, but it also has a grandfathered in second residence. There's a lot of advantages you can find to what's already in place, because if you go into a new area or you buy some raw land, you might find out that when you go to the zoning department or whatever, they say, well, we're about to make a change in that little piece of land that you bought, and we're going to make a 7-Eleven over there or something like that, you know. But if you have a grandfathered use in of a piece of land, and let's say there's a cabin on the property, you know, some old hunting cabin or whatever, a little mobile home or something, and it's grandfathered in. There's a farm stand. Okay, you have rights to that land based on a continuity of grandfathering, what's called grandfathering in. So again, the zoning is a very, very big, important part of the zoning that I'm talking about. Now, we have a lot of that in Virginia, but another reason that I like this beautiful area is that there's recreation. You see, there's all these hunting land, there's fishing here. This is a lot of national forest over here, and the Blue Ridge Parkway, and there's a lot of hunting cabins around here, and there's a lot of campsites, and people like to go walking on the Appalachian Trail and other trails. So there's all kinds of recreation. So basically this area you live in an area where it's already a place where other people come to go vacation. If you live in your vacation place, hey, that's pretty good. So, there's a lot of advantages. Now, I'll look at my little list here. One other reason of living out in this area in particular, there's hardly any congestion. You see, Stuarts Draft is located down here. So, way back in here, there's hardly anybody around. But you can quickly get to a job over in Waynesboro or over in Stanton or over in Charlottesville. But when you come home at night, you got a private little place, maybe a nice little 3 or 4 acre spread that's not costing you much in taxes, and maybe you can have some chickens and stuff there. So it actually, the area that I'm talking about, Stuarts Draft, also, you look up the words, the little town's called Greenville or Verona or another little town up here. There's a bunch of areas up here north of Waynesboro that are also very, very charming. You can see how the terrain is. So what I have access to, I live down here, but there's a beautiful area south of me. The road that I'm living on goes like 9 or 10 miles, and on one side is just like forest, and mostly like small little places and homesteads and so on, little lanes or whatever. And a train runs down there, like a freight train, or part of it. And then it goes for miles and miles like that, and there's nobody around except just the people who live there on 2 or 3 acre parcels or 10 acre, whatever. Another thing that we have around here is the economy. We have a variety of economy. From where I'm living right here, we have Waynesboro, we have a lot of transportation, Hershey's and Target is in here, and some other mobile big companies with trucks. There's a lot of nurseries, and they grow plants, and they have a lot of egg farming and a lot of cows and so on all around here. Agriculture, there's also timber industry going on. And then we have the hospitals. We have a whole bunch of college and hospitals over here. And then we have, like the Route 81 goes down the valley here. You can see the transportation is easy all along this beautiful valley. And if you position yourself somewhere, even in this area, north of Waynesboro, you're in the middle of a beautiful valley that is kind of rolling terrain, and you can look east and west and have views. But if you want a little more privacy, down here it's just a really nice niche, because if you worked in Charlottesville, for example, you come over the mountain here, come down here, and next thing you know, you're just in a really quiet little spot next to the hills and whatever, and you got your wildlife and your free zoning and everything. So again, let me see if I go through here. The trades, if you want employment in this area, people who have a little homestead have usually, a lot of times, they're carpenters, electricians, plumbers, people who have moving equipment or bulldozers or that kind of thing, farmers. You find your neighbors in this area in particular, there's some really beautiful areas where your neighbors are all equipped. I had a friend one time across the road where I used to live, and he had a big bulldozer. Man, he was on a dead-end road and a kind of a hill, so hey, he could make a road. If a worst case scenario, I call my neighbor and say, hey, can you get that tree out of the way so I go down to town? So you have like a lot of accessibility to all kinds of variety. It's not like a suburb where like a little bedroom community where everybody works like somewhere and then they go home and they live in their little house and with their little yard. You have a whole bunch of vital activity going on right around you when you live in the country. Then there's lower taxes. There's also agricultural use of land where you have the freedom to use it, lower costs in general, and the economy around here supports agriculture and homesteading. So again, I won't go over it too much, but just look in this little corner here, south of Waynesboro. There's also beautiful, beautiful areas west of 81, all the way down through Lexington and beyond. There's just gorgeous areas, but I just was talking about one little area, that one I live in, and I'm just saying there's a lot of homesteads there, and they're kind of grandfathered in, like I said, and some of them have some nice little sheds and things going on there, little fenced-in yards and animals going on, and it's just a charming, beautiful area to live in if you want a homestead. So that's my little spiel about Stuarts Draft, Virginia. It's in Augusta County, and it's on the west side of the Blue Ridge Hills, which are these here. And, it's just an absolutely wonderful place to live. So thanks again for listening. I watch some of my other videos. I watch a lot of other people's content, and I like and share. So I appreciate the feedback and hope to see you in some of my other videos.